Alrighty guys, what is going on? Welcome back to another video. So this video has been all over the place. Last video we left off and the car was ready for the dyno, but since then we've had a few issues. So we took it to the dyno, dropped it off. The trans was leaking, so we brought it back, needed a TPS, and we also didn't have an overdrive for the trans. So the trans is going into 4th gear and we couldn't do a power run, hence why we had to bring it back. And today we're taking it back. All the issues have changed. We put a new fuel pump in it, fresh 98, it just filled up, and then yeah. So we're gonna drop it off today, and hopefully he's got to do. He's still got to do a. He's still got to wire in a TPS because it doesn't have a TPS at the moment. So he's gonna wire that in, and then hopefully we get a power figure. Hopefully we get a power run recorded. So Clinton fast tune. The dude's really good. Been straightforward for the whole time. Super transparent. Knows what he expects when dropping the car off. And yeah. And so let's drop this thing off. It should be all ready to go. Let's get it done, lads. Alright, the old girl's on the trailer. Slap some fresh 98 in it. Let's go to this dyno, boys. You're shocking. Keep going, one more. Yep. Good effort. Whoa.
The next day.
Alrighty guys, what is going on? So as you would have seen, we just dropped the car for the dyno. It's a couple of days after. We just got a phone call from Clint, and he just let me know that we've got a few little issues to tackle before we go for a power run. So the biggest thing was the trans was leaking. You can't see exactly where it's coming from, but he has a good idea that it's probably from the back of the trans, so we'll have to have a look at that. Another thing is it keeps going into overdrive, so installing a TPS would be great for it, so he recommended that. So we're gonna go pick it up now. It's drivable. Yes, the trans is leaking, but we're not going very far. It's got rego, it's all ready to go, so we'll drive it back, we'll have a look at the trans, and then we can look at doing those little things to tidy up, and then we'll take it back down there. Alright, so I got the car running, went for a quick lap around the block to see if we can get it to leak. Put it up on the stands, had a look at it. There was no major leaks. I don't think it's a rear seal of the gearbox. I think it's more the sump was pretty loose. So we're doing a few turns on each bolt. So we tighten that up, degrease the pan, and then we're gonna go for a drive, let it run and drive for about 10-15 minutes, come back, put it up on the stands, and have a look at, see if it's leaking. So that would give us an indication if it's the pan. I'll try to give it a little bit of shit. Like I said, it's still half tuned, so I can't go into stupid high rev range, but listen to this. We made sure the trans was leaking, that was sorted. We just nipped up those pan bolts, and then we wired in an overdrive switch for the 4th gear to eliminate that going into 4th, into overdrive gear. And then we fit the TPS. We just installed it onto the throttle body, and then now we're going to head up to BFAB out in Elizabeth. He's going to sort out my exhaust leak. It's blown out 2 gaskets. I've tried to put gasket goo on it and put a new gasket, but I think the faces of the flanges need to be machined. So we'll go down there, he'll sort me out with doing that, and then we can have a look on the hoist as well and just go over the whole car and make sure everything's sweet. So let's head down there now. So, alright guys, as you can see, we got a new fuel pump here. The one in the old 31, she died. So that was a Denso 300. I've upgraded to a I've upgraded to a Raceworks 340. And I got to just do some soldering. As you can see, the dodgy soldering set up down on the floor. Run it to the back, and yeah, should be sweet as. Let's slap this in. Let's get it done. Let's drop this thing off at the dyno. This should be the last thing I need to do.
Alright guys, so Giles is in ISO at the moment. I'm down here at the dyno picking up the 31. It's still on the dyno at the moment because they're trying to push a bit more power out of it now that they've got the cam timing gear unseized. Now he's just playing around trying to get more out of it, make sure it's safe and reliable. Ideally I think Giles wants to put on the 85 down the track and up the boost. But now that cam gear's moving, we can fuck around with the tune a lot more than we could before, so that's a good thing. Grip. That is for sure. It's almost not worth even trying to give it a pull because you're just going to cross up. Even in third gear I think it'll cross up once it hits boost. So it's definitely going to be a bit of fun for Giles, but on a day like today definitely not the most ideal vehicle to drive.
She's home. Happy?
I wouldn't drive it in the wet.
Ready? Alrighty guys, as you would have just seen, we had the car dropped off by Jordan. Shout out to you. I'm in ISO, so that was a massive help. You would have seen a bit of driving clips from old Jordan. He was loving it. As much as he say he hates it, he loves it. So we dropped the car off the second time to the dyno. We didn't have any issues. Well, no issues that couldn't be resolved by Clint. So obviously this car has the turbo, so it's an RB30 with a big cam, stall converter, built auto, and the 411s. So personally I was expecting to see a little bit more out of the good old RB30, but that was me being told that it was a 14-pound spring instead of the 12. So I was expecting to see a little bit more. Being the auto with the converter, with the pretty big converter, I dare say probably sucks a fair bit of power on the dyno, on the rollers. It sucks the final power figure out of it, but look, that's not what we're getting this thing tuned for. We dropped the car off expecting to have very usable power, which we now do, and very good reliability and a very healthy motor, which everything checked out perfectly. Obviously we didn't make a stupid amount of power because we were only running one, we got the auto. 2, we got the load boost, so we got 12 pound, and we're on 98. So if the next time we see Clint, I dare say we'll probably put the car on 98. We'll have a boost controller so we can ramp up the boost, and obviously the auto is still going to be the same. So our first run, he roughly capped it out at about 196, 196 kilowatt. That was before he unseized the adjustable cam gear. So the cam gear was actually not rotating. So he got that to rotate, and he pulled about 10 extra kilowatt out of it. Ended up making 206 kilowatt rear wheels. And look, we're probably not going to do much more. We're not going to do any more driving. I'll let Jordan have his fun, and you can have a laugh at him cruising around. So in the next video, we'll show you more. We'll do a 0 to 100 run, sound clips, turbo clips. We'll do everything. So we'll go for a POV drive, and you can see the driving experience of 100 kilowatt RB30 with a cam, with the built auto, the stool, and the 411s with the LSD. So that's just a quick rundown of the car. If you haven't seen the rundown of the car yet, I'll link it now. Go watch that. It gives you more of an understanding of kind of what we're dealing with. And yeah, so guys, that's about it. This is where I'm going to end the video out now, so stay tuned for more content. And yeah, hopefully you enjoyed that video. So it was a little bit all over the place, but I'm glad we finally got the car dialed in. I'm happy with it. It runs, starts, drives, stops. It's a really good car. So a few little things to do still, but guys, that's for later on videos, and that's for months to come. So let's do this, and let's build a cool little street car.